Hey everyone, alright, so in this video we're going to talk about the Eastern Gateway project and all the drama that it has brought forth upon the Disneyland Resort. Okay, so basically for those of you not familiar with it, the Eastern Gateway project is a new parking structure that Disneyland is going to build on Harbor Boulevard. Disney recently bought the Carousel Inn. It was a hotel on Harbor. They're going to bulldoze that. That's going to be a pedestrian bridge that's going to empty off in between Disneyland and California Adventure, and this bridge is going to connect to that new 7,000 spot parking structure that will sit like right behind where the Carousel Inn currently sits. So that's basically what's going on, or that's what Disney proposed. Okay, now all the businesses on Harbor Boulevard are all complaining, and they announced a coalition and they're fighting Disney tooth and nail because their stance on this is if Disney builds a pedestrian bridge that goes from the parking structure over Harbor Boulevard and empties out directly into Disneyland, it's going to hurt all of their business. Okay, so yes, it probably will affect McDonald's and IHOP's bottom line. It probably will. Now, here's the thing. In my opinion, okay, this is just in my opinion, I don't think Disney has an obligation to make sure that McDonald's and IHOP and all these other businesses on Harbor do buco bucks. I don't think that's Disney's responsibility. Disney has a responsibility in this. Yes, they have a responsibility to the community as a whole and the city of Anaheim as a whole, but making McDonald's more money is not one of those responsibilities. I'm sorry, it's just not, okay? Now, I understand, I think it was like 20 years ago, around the time when they were turning Disneyland into a resort, with California Adventure. I understand Disney did make a deal with the city that they can't build anything that's going to hurt local businesses or the surrounding area. So I think Disney is sort of stuck now. They're going to have to somehow appease those businesses. The bridge probably won't happen, or if the bridge does happen, they're going to have to alter the design of that bridge so guests can still access all those other businesses down there. It's a mess, and that's really why the whole project is delayed. A lot of people are blaming Disney. If you go on Twitter, you think it was like 100% Disney's fault as to why this whole project has been delayed. But I actually don't agree with that. I really don't agree with that. I think Disney is being proactive. They're trying to get this parking structure built before the inevitable onslaught of millions and millions of people coming over for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. They're trying to be proactive and fix a problem that is inevitably going to happen, and the city and the local businesses and even the residents really they're like kneecapping Disney every step of the way with it. And whose fault is it going to be if they can't build this parking structure and the gridlock and traffic all around the resort is terrible for years? Whose fault is that going to be? It's going to be Disney's fault, of course. Everyone's going to say, why didn't Disney do something? So they are trying to do something. And every step of the way, Anaheim, Tom Tate, the mayor of Anaheim, the residents, the local businesses, they're all kneecapping Disney the whole process, and they can't get it done. So if Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens and traffic is a mess, yes, Disney bears some responsibility to that. But Anaheim, the residents, and the local businesses bear a huge responsibility as well. They're not doing anything to get this thing built. Okay? So yeah, I disagree with the sentiment online. I see so much of it on Twitter that it's Disney's fault. Disney shoulda, Disney coulda, Disney shoulda. All I see on Twitter is that. I really disagree with that sentiment. Another thing, the mayor of Anaheim, his name is Tom Tate. He's been the mayor, I think, since like 2010, around that time. He's been a real thorn in Disney's side. I mean, like 2 years ago, Disney was trying to renegotiate some sort of deal with Anaheim where they wouldn't have to pay taxes in exchange for like $1 billion investment into the parks. And Tom Tate was very vocal that he wants to fight Disney every step of the way on this. He doesn't want to give Disney any tax breaks, despite the fact that the only reason why anyone goes to Anaheim is because of Disneyland. Anaheim, and this isn't like Disney's arrogance, okay, or Disney fan bias. This is reality. Anaheim would be nothing without Disneyland. Okay, Anaheim would be like Downey or Murrieta or Claremont or Riverside if it wasn't for Disneyland. It would be essentially a typical city in Southern California with no real reason to go to it. Okay, Disneyland's the reason why Anaheim gets all this revenue and all these tourists, and they benefit so much from Disneyland being there. So to give Disney tax breaks, I don't think that's really a big giveaway to that. I mean there's a huge pro to having that resort there, from the city side, from the city standpoint. So in terms of the residents, look, Disneyland's been there for 60 plus years. You know what you're getting yourself into when you move next to Disneyland. I'm sorry, I have very little sympathy towards that as well. I mean, if these residents lived in that area and Disneyland just came in to build this huge resort, that's totally different. I'm 100% on board with the residents in that scenario because they live there and now there's big corporations coming in and trying to take over. Okay, that's fair game. But that's not what's happening here. Disney's been there for 60 plus years. If you move across the street from Disneyland, you forfeit all rights to complain about firework noise. I'm sorry. I have no sympathy. There's a million other places you can move to. You don't need to move across the street from Disneyland. If you don't like fireworks, that's not the spot for you. So anyway, that's my thoughts on this whole thing. I really think both sides, Disney and the city of Anaheim and the local businesses, all three sides really, well actually all four sides, the residents as well, the community, they all need to really figure out a way to get this gateway project moving. Okay, it's already been really delayed. I'm not even sure if it's gonna be built in time for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. They need it. We need to get this structure built. So I hope Tom Tate and the city, they really work with Disney on finding a solution that benefits the resort as well as the businesses on Harbor Boulevard. As much as I am against this whole notion that Disney needs to prop up all these businesses, I really am against that notion. I understand they made a deal with the city like 20 years ago. They got to do it. So they're stuck. They got to do it. So they got to figure something out. Hopefully they do, because otherwise traffic is going to be a complete disaster when Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens. Comment below though. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think about all this drama regarding the Gateway project? And its delay, this indefinite delay of this parking structure. What do you think about it? Is it Disney's fault? Is it Anaheim's fault? Do both parties share responsibility? What are your thoughts? Comment below. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and as always, have a magical day. Bye-bye.